Hi Taurus, welcome to your April, can you believe it, 2024 Astro Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. I just want to say before we get started, happy damn birthday to you. If you are an April born Taurus in the Bull Gang, I really hope you have a wonderful solar return. Remember to fill the day of your birthday with a little bit of everything that you want this entire year ahead to have in it for you. All right, so you treat the day itself like a mini year and you pack it full of all of the good stuff that you want for this year ahead. All right, so for these readings, remember it's always best to check your ascendant first before anything else, especially if you're only going to watch one. I use whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And remember, these are general readings. This, not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. All right, so the first transit that I would like to look at for you is on the 1st of the month. Mercury, the little blighter, is going to start its retrograde energy. It's going to start its retrograde motion at 27 degrees of the sign of Aries, and it's going to come right the way back to I think it's like 15 or 16 degrees, but basically it will conjunct the north node again before it then finally moves forward. So this is for you because Aries for you occupies your 12th house, right? So Mercury in the 12th makes us more psychic, it makes us more perceptive, it does give us a sort of spiritual edge, but Mercury in the 12th can also really enhance the memory or have people or things or connections, right, come back into our lives in some regard. So what you're looking at here, Mercury, communication or a microphone, the 12th house, the past. So something or someone from the past could come into the forefront at this time. Can make you more perceptive, as I said, but it can also improve your memory, right? But in a retrograde, it also means that your thoughts are likely to turn inward that much more. So this could look like, for some of you, this might look like a social media cleanse or even just a release of outdated thought patterns and processes. I really love this for rethinking or redefining a bad habit and asking yourself why you do it. So let's say you're a smoker. You might use this transit and say, okay, let me examine why I smoke. Do I actually enjoy this anymore? Is it something that really resonates with me, or am I just doing it out of sheer habit? This is a time where you can get really honest with yourself. And because Mercury for you rules your 2nd house of money, finances and resources and your 5th house of creativity, this might be that you realize a bad habit is actually taking up a lot of your time and money, and that if you were to divert that energy to other things, you might actually enhance your material and your creative process in some way. So Mercury for you rules your money and your pleasure zone, so watch out for, as well, the other thing that I want to say is watch out for the buyer's remorse, right? It is very possible that you could kind of, you might just go for an impulse buy and then you get it and you're like, oh crap, do you know what, I really don't like this, I don't even want it. So for this, you've got the Fool card, new things, places, people and energy, with the 3 of Swords, okay, and the Queen of Swords. So this maybe suggests that a newfound venture or idea or direction that you were planning to go in doesn't really work or doesn't get off the ground, right? So anything that's coming back into your life from the past is more favored through and because of this transit. Now, the Queen of Swords is usually an air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini or Libra. And with the 3 of Swords, this could be a partnership, a connection, a collaboration that is coming to an end. This could be where you, remember the 12th house is a space of endings as well. So this could be a relationship of some sort, a friendship, a connection, a collaboration that comes to a close at this time. And maybe Mercury is having you rethink a connection of some sort and say, okay, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. And that's okay too, right? There's space for everything in life. If there's one thing that I've learned, I took a course some time back, and one of the greatest things that it taught me was that there is space for everything. All right, so that's on the 1st of the month, right the way through to the 25th, and then Mercury will go direct. On the 8th of the month, we have the new moon solar eclipse. All right, in the sign of Aries. This is a pretty big deal because it's a 12th house eclipse for you. It's a refresh of your karma in some way, right? Now, an eclipse of this magnitude, definitely one to watch. It's in the 12th house. Eclipses can, especially eclipses in the 12th, can disrupt our sleep patterns, right? So watch out for this. Also, because we're meant to find alternative ways to rest and to recuperate. So what you've been doing up until now may not cut it anymore. You might need to find a different strategy. So one of the things that I did personally when I had my last set of eclipses bouncing back and forth through the 6th and 10th house, I deliberately built a time to rest, recuperate, or even just take a nap into my day, right? And I treated that just as seriously as I did any of the other tasks on my thing, because I was waking up at like 2 and 3 in the morning and I wasn't able to get back to sleep, and it was just like I was literally hanging on by a thread, living on fumes of sleep. And so I started to build that into my daily schedule, and it really helped me. So this could also be, because remember, so this eclipse is happening at 19 degrees of Aries, which is the sun's most exalted degree. And it's conjunct Chiron at the same time, which means there's a powerful healing vibe to this. It could be a deep-seated healing of a past wound around siblings, around education, or even local ties. That's all possible. But it could also relate to because obviously for you, this is representing your 2nd house, your money and resources. Your 4th house of home, family and property, because the sun rules Leo, and Leo for you occupies the 4th house, and the moon, which for you occupies your 3rd house, right? So this could be siblings, local ties. It could be a familial sort of tie as well, maybe even something to do with your living situation. All of these things could come up for you. It's also possible that it could relate to a family or your heritage in some regard, and it might bring up how that has shaped you for the better or not. So it's like you get a really deep glimpse at how your familial stuff has shaped you in some way. All in all, this eclipse is definitely getting you in touch with your subtle energies and powers, and it's also upgrading your inner world and life so that you might sort of allow that to enhance your waking life in some regard. Because the 6th house, 12th house axis it's about the spiritual health, and the spiritual and mental health, and the physical health and vitality. So for this, you've got the Knight of Swords, you've got the Strength card, and you've got the 8 of Cups. So strength is 8, 8 of Cups, 2 8s. 2 8s represents new knowledge. Coupled with the Knight of Swords, though, this is new knowledge that really gives you the oomph that you need to move forward. So this eclipse is going to give you a powerful insight in some regard. I gotta be honest, it is the Knight of Swords with the Strength card, so you might sort of decide that a knee-jerk reaction, like now that I know this or I figured this out, I'm gonna charge off and kind of start shooting my mouth off. My advice to you would be, before you start sharing any of these realizations, ask yourself how they really sit within you, within your mind, your psyche, your body, your soul, your spirit, all of that stuff. All right, that's a really important consideration. The other thing here as well, this might be about having the courage to walk away from, or to release or leave something, or potentially even someone behind. That's the 8th of April. On the 18th of the month, we have the Jupiter-Uranus connection. So they are finally, after flirting with each other for the last 11 months, they are finally coming into an actual conjunction, right? So this is where they really do align. This is happening in your sign, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you specifically, because it's happening in your sign, right? It's once in a lifetime for all of us, but this is a bigger deal because it's happening in your sign, your sun, your moon, or your ascendant sign. The reason this is so powerful and why it's getting such a buzz in the astrological community is because this conjunction happens once every 14 years. So that in itself makes it that much more rare. But more importantly, because of the time that it takes for these two to kind of really come into sync, we're never going to see this happen in Taurus in any of our lifetimes again, unless they figure out how to make us live, super long and all the rest of it, which is probably possible. Jokes aside, it's a big deal. Both of these planets are hugely concerned with the future, with what comes next, with where we go from now. So Jupiter for you rules your 8th house of Sagittarius and your 11th house of Pisces, right? So that's a pretty big deal. And this is your joint resources, the 8th house, and psychology, spiritual matters and visions for the future, which is the 11th house, right? This could see you unlock new gifts. Maybe you're starting to develop a newfound sense of appreciation for what the future might hold for you, right? These planets both look to what is coming next, what comes out of the out of the future for you, and for you, because the 8th house is a finance house, and the 11th house is also a finance house, because it's the gains that you get from your business or your career. It could be that Uranus, because for you, Uranus rules, obviously Uranus rules Aquarius, which is occupied by your 10th house. This could see you working on a career opportunity to get ahead in your work using social media, a marketing campaign of some sort, or maybe just an invite from a source that you don't expect. This could open up a whole world of new possibilities for you. And I say that this could even highlight to you something. It's like, it might even be that you see within your career there's something that feels like a deal breaker, so you come into this realization very quickly, like, okay, this is where we're going, but actually in order for me to go there or to fulfill this, I'm going to need to release or give up this. In a sextile to Mars, which for you rules your relationships, because Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and your hidden sector, because it rules Aries, I do wonder if something is revealed to you that wasn't seen before, and it provides you with the strength and the oomph to walk away from something that you never thought you would be able to walk away from. With this, you've got the Star card. 11th house is Aquarian energy, and obviously you're having Aquarius energy lit up for you as well. You've got the 3 of Pentacles. Wow, okay. And you've got the 9 of Wands. So it is possible that some form of online learning, because remember, all of this is happening in your first house. This is you, your mind, your outlook, your body. All of these things are getting an upgrade. But the Star card with the 3 of Pentacles, there could be something that you're learning, something that you're embarking on at the moment that really helps you get ahead. Because you've got the 9 of Wands here, maybe you start working with an anxiety specialist. Maybe you start working with... maybe you start working with an anxiety specialist. Maybe you start working with a somatic therapist. Maybe you start working with somebody who can help you release or get rid of your unresolved trauma. This suggests to me that you're working with someone that's going to help you clear the path for your life by really working at a very deep level on your physical body, but also thinking about where this can take you. For a lot of you, you might enact something or put something into motion now that has a big effect on your finances, your money, or your resources. And that 9 of Wands is going to show you how you can kind of say, okay, you know what? This is what I need to release in order to do this. It's like, yeah, I think that's as much as I will say. There's some other stuff that I'd like to say, but I don't know if it's relevant. So I will just keep my mouth shut. On the 28th, so that's on the 18th of April. On the 28th, Mars is going to come into a conjunction with Neptune. And these at the tail end of Pisces are going to square Luna at the final sort of degree of Sagittarius. Now, usually a lunar transit, you don't really, because they're so quick, right? But this one, I feel like it sets, maybe not even set something into motion, but really reveals something. And this is happening across your 9th house, your 8th house and your 11th houses, right? So Mars conjunct Neptune, it's the spiritual warrior who will die for what he believes in, right? And another way that this potentially shows up for you is, it could be through your friendships or group campaigns as well as your future plans. Mars rules your 12th house of hidden things and relationships, right? And your relationships. So whereas Neptune, literally is your... it rules your friendships and those kinds of things. Something is about here is about as clear as mud when it comes to friends, friendship ties, and it's possible, but this because the third house part is kind of shit stirring, right? So there's something about this. Be very careful about letting somebody rile you up. Be really conscious that the moon is in a perfect trine here to Venus, which will be in your 12th house at the time. Which means that you will have a lot more information than somebody realizes, and a lot of that might be through sheer spiritual or psychic awareness, right? So there might be something that you know sheerly through your intuitive faculty, or because somebody has already given you that information, and so you've got somebody that's trying to lie to you or kind of pull the wool over your eyes. And it's like all the while you're just standing there shaking your head smiling, because it's like, I already know that you're chatting rubbish, and the fact that you're sort of here in my face doing it to my face, you know, there's something about this that feels like that. Since Venus also rules the 6th house of your body and your daily grind, it is possible that your renewed passion for health and fitness could be reignited at this time, especially if your approach from this is from like a spiritual or assisted perspective. So I really like this actually for dropping down into that spirituality and starting to realize like, wow, I can use this to power everything else that I do. For this, you've got the Moon card, so something's coming to light. You've got this with the Six of Cups. For those of you that have siblings, it's possible that this could come from or through or because of a sibling, and I really hope I'm wrong on that front. Then you've got the Ten of Wands. So watch out for this, because I got to be honest, there is an element of this where I feel like somebody might try to gaslight you, and so it's important that you just kind of, you know, call it when you see it. Okay, so your lunations, your new moon solar eclipse message from the Human Design Oracle deck is the gate 15 and humanity. And so the message behind this is really about your community and your connections. And this one for you happens in your 12th house. There are times where, because the 12th house has a lot of similarities to Pisces. They're not the same thing, but they have similarities. This is really saying that this new moon in Aries eclipse is really trying to show you where forgiveness is deserved and where it isn't, right? And just being really honest about which is which. For your on the, where are you? For the Scorpio full moon on the 12th of the on the 23rd of the month, you have the gate look at that, right? You've got the gate 23 and assimilate, and the message behind this card is not to downgrade your dreams or your visions in any way, shape or form, especially where it comes to relationships, partnerships. This full moon is trying to show you where you're not meant to settle. It's in the sign of secrets, so there could be something that comes up around a relationship, a partnership, a connection, a collaboration at this time. Doesn't have to just be around your significant other. This could be any form of sort of close-knit relationship that you have. So, you know, it would be very interesting to see how this plays out. The other thing with this card is, like I said, it's really about allowing yourself to dream big and go after that regardless of whatever looks possible. All right. With that said, if you would like to book your personal Astro Tarot reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.